I don't understand why it would be separate. Because everything's consciousness. If you're having an intimate relationship and you're giving, that's consciousness. You know, we have this concept that sex is special, or bad, or good, and it's just part of our human experience. It's a way to be intimate, a way to give, a way to love. So just be there. You don't have to stop doing it to expand your consciousness. It doesn't work like that. Yeah? Or am I misunderstanding the question? No, I think you're pretty clear. Okay.
Hi. My question is related to how many times I become aware of something that I have. Before, I used to be very disciplined. But then I started seeing that it was a play of fear or control. And automatically, I went to the opposite side. And when now I notice that it's hurting me to be in the opposite side, I try to find a balance. It's very hard. And that happens with several things. So how do you find that equilibrium without forcing and without doing from fear?
Everything you're talking about is coming from your brain. You know, it's not coming from your heart. I'm either very focused, very rigid, very, or very rebelled, and I just destroy everything that I did well. And love is very constant. It has a middle path, a path of excellence. It's very focused. It's not fanatical about anything. It's just constant and gentle. And that's the place you have to be. So how do I be there? How do I live in that space? Well, firstly, I have to learn to live in my heart. And then I have the discernment to choose what serves, what doesn't serve, and to just have a constant focus. And you know, sometimes we fall this way, sometimes we fall that way, but it's very easy to see. You know, it makes us suffer. The two sides make us suffer. I'm either very obsessive and disciplined and rigid, or I'm out of control. Neither of those sides serve. Well, they serve to bring you back here. So you just need to be present. You know, excellence is not exegencia, fanaticism. It's just like this. It's defining itself in each moment, choosing for the highest point in each moment, giving in each moment, being the best of me in each moment. And if I'm not, I don't become self-violent. I just change.
I have a question. How to be able to recuperate the relationship with people that for bad tempers I lost?
Whose bad temper, yours or theirs?
How to go back to them without these bad tempers come up again and for me to fuck it up again?
Okay. So the thing is, first you have to let it go. But you have to see this place where you're looking for protection. You know, sometimes we push people away. So through that expression, no? And so you have to start taking responsibility. My bad temper pushes people away. So when I'm moving stress, when I'm feeling angry, I need to move that before I start relating with people. But you've also got to let go of the judgment. Like you're making it into something larger than life. And you have to stop being violent with yourself. You know, maybe you went through a period where you were angry with the world. I don't know. But you need to let that go and start focusing on what you do want. And everything will start to change externally. Yeah. Why'd you come here? To change, no? Well, good. We've already started, yeah?
So I remember when I watched one of your videos, and you said in one of them that like a thief holding a knife to someone's throat is love.
Puede ser que un ladrón sosteniendo un cuchillo en la garganta de otro, eso es una expresión de amor también.
And I was thinking about how could that be possible. It's just like everyone is like an expression of life and love. We're evolving, we're dying, and like it's everything is love. That is why you can make this expression.
What, you don't know what it means? How do you not know what that means? Firstly, that's a movie. It's not one of my talks. It's my movie. Okay, I'm going to explain to you. What I'm trying to explain is that everything's made from the same thing. Extreme duality. We have extreme saints, and then we have psychopaths. Most of us live in the middle, oscillating to both sides, but nothing so extreme. You know, we have Mother Teresa and we have Hitler. Like there's all these degrees, but everything is made of the same energy. It's made of love. That is the energy. So, the violence is very low vibration. And it's in all of us. And we also have the very high vibration. And this illusion of duality is made from that. I'm not condoning violent behavior. What I'm trying to explain, it's all an aspect of us that we have to embrace and go beyond to live in the higher vibrations. But it's all love. This is love, this is love, this is love, this is love, this is love. Everything's love. It's all the same energy. If you don't believe me, the scientists can tell you. They might tell you with a different name. But for me, it's unconditional love, creating an illusion of duality, creating separation from the divinity. It's not real. Now you're perfectly clear. I've got 10 more questions.
As Helen expressed in the meeting, I recreated situations of rejection. And in the outside, I had been how my focus was going with dramas, hooking the outside. But being here, I can see that since the 6 weeks, I grew a lot and I matured. And also, I feel very clear, yesterday and the day before, a desire of being very, very much in the silence, live from a place very deep of maturity and with a lot of love for myself, and how to heal my victim and be very sure about it. Can you talk about it?
You know, the first thing is, you are kids. Okay, you love all this drama and outside and all of this stuff. But you have this profound experience. And most children don't have that. Most adults don't have that. And sometimes you love getting trapped in your victim. Why? To get attention. And that's a place of immaturity. But you're a child. It doesn't matter. But when you start suffering, that's when you have to be very ruthless with yourself. And see this place where you're taking instead of giving. And there's certain things in your life that maybe won't change. And you've got to let go of that expectation. Oh, I expect my father to behave like this. I expect my madrastra to behave like that. I expect this, I expect that. And it's always that expectation that takes you into suffering. Because you can't change them. You have to change yourself. So in reality, you're choosing to suffer. Because you're very clear about the situation. Yes? Good. And see, you have the intelligence to change. What a gift. Most people haven't got a clue that they can change. They're just eternally blaming the outside. So good.
When you talk about consciousness and spirituality, I have ideas of Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, the yogi tradition.
My God, what haven't you done?
So, ¿qué es lo que no has hecho? No, claro, solo ha leído eso. But my question is, if behind this system is a kind of tradition, a philosophy, or, and the other question, talking about consciousness and enlightenment, you were mentioning about the non-duality. My question is that if with all the facets and the whole system, we can eventually to the non-duality or to get to the enlightenment, and if it's the same or which one is the difference.
You're making me dizzy. I think you read too many books. Okay, firstly, my system is for enlightenment. That's it. Which is beyond duality. It's living in unity within the duality. The love in everything. All of those traditions have a master. And the master was living in enlightenment. Everything's talking about the same point. Everyone's singing the same song. They're all the same. So it's not even about tradition. It's the essence of who we are. God, the divinity. Who are we? We're that. And it's remembering that and becoming the actions of that. Becoming the actions of unconditional love. Okay, but humans take the words of the master and they place them in duality. And then they put rules and control and fear and judgments. Because only unity or only enlightenment can understand enlightenment. Because it's beyond this. So we can have a concept of what it is to be a good person. You know, we have commandments for that. But there's much more to being the actions of love. it has to come from within you. And in order for it to come from within you, you have to become that. And that is unconditional love, pure compassion that sees itself in everything.
I'm feeling very well, as I told you in the morning. When I go back home, how will I know if I'm doing it right or wrong?
You're doing it again. I want you to listen to me. You are perfect exactly as you are. You keep thinking you're doing it wrong. You even think the morning of your son, you're doing it wrong. This is your moment. Stop worrying about what everyone else thinks and be in the moment. In the moment here. That's it. And then in a new moment. And then in a new moment. Trusting with whatever's transpiring. If you're crying, perfect. If you're in peace, perfect. If you're angry with your son, perfect. If you're happy and finding joy, perfect. You have to be true to yourself. And stop trying to get a guideline of how this should look. Because it's your experience. Yeah. And it's a big experience. It's a horrible experience. It's a heavy experience. But that doesn't mean you have to react a certain way. You're perfect exactly as you are.
A basic question, maybe. Come on. What is your vision of happiness? Your definition of happiness?
Joy, I like to call it. Because it's permanent. And it comes from within. It bubbles up like effervescent bubbles from consciousness. And it's our nature. When we let go of the stress, we start to be in the moment. We're anchored in consciousness. That joy is what inspires us in our lives. We wake up happy for no reason. Just because. That's happiness. That's joy. And that's permanent. Yeah.
After we went to the forest, I was not able to concentrate on unification, and I think that is because up there I just left. I got so deep into me, and I think it's because the sounds. And up here I cannot concentrate in the same way. What can I do?
You know what? You just have to go deeper. And you have to be able to unify anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in nature. It doesn't matter if you're in a bus, in the unification room. And sometimes it will feel superficial. And that's because you're moving stress. And it's not important. But when you're on the surface, you need to go and express.
Hola. In the movie yesterday, the mirror of perfection, you say that the animals camouflage to survive in nature, and the humans, we camouflage in society to survive. How to avoid the camouflage and to always come back to ourselves if we are living in the society.
You tell me how. Come on, I want an answer. No, you know the answer. Tell me the answer.
I know choosing myself, but in a moment I got lost. I left.
How do you feel when you leave? How do you feel when you're acting and looking for approval? How do you feel? Okay. So when you feel that emptiness, you know you're not being true to your own heart. You're playing a character to get something that you want externally. Be it approval, be it love, be it to seduce. There's something. And you have to turn that back and give that to you. Because you should never abandon yourself. You have to be true to your heart all the time, because nothing's better than you being you. And you have to remember that. When you're in your power, when you're being you, when you're giving that, there's nothing more powerful than that. And you have to catch the old tricks of putting on masks, playing roles. You have to catch it. Shake yourself and stop. Yeah? Good.
My question is so over the last 3 months I've kind of given myself more time for me and figuring out what I actually enjoy doing, because before that time I didn't really know. So my question is, how important is it, or what do you think about making daily routines? About having daily routines. Not like you have to do this at this time, but like implementing things that make you happy. Hobbies, the meditation, all these sort of things.
I think it's an interesting thing that when you start loving yourself, you do start to have structures. You have structures or things that you do that make you feel good. Like I have structures. I'm very disciplined, but I'm not rigid. I do it for me, so I feel good. And if you have these structures and these focuses, like to exercise, to unify, all those things are great. Whatever improves you, whatever makes you a better person, whatever serves for you to love you, is great. And I think they are important.
I'm not sure how to structure this question. You told us that I'm new. I'm starting the process. The answers will be very clear. Will arrive the moment to go back home, continue with the process, with the 4 first facets. It's going to be this clear. The sensation that is a moment of more facets, come back here, or continue with more, with this method.
You know, it's very good for you to stay in touch with the teachers. To do a group. Where are you from? Where? Okay, do they have a group in Monterrey? Yeah. It's good to stay connected. You know what's important? Is to see what you're consuming. You know, are you reading consciousness? Are you watching videos of consciousness? Are you communicating with people with consciousness? If you do this, you stay in consciousness. It's much easier to do that than to get hooked back into the illusion of victim. And we give all the support. You know, we're only a WhatsApp away, we're only a phone call away. And you'll know when you want to come back, when you want to take more facets, when you want to go to a meeting. You'll start to, as you grow, your appetite for this will grow too, because you'll start to experience something very special. But now you're in a vital moment that you have to continue. And because your consciousness will grow so fast, everything will be very clear. Very clear. Don't worry. We're not going to abandon you.
Yes. For you, which one is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life. Isn't that funny? We spend our whole life looking for the meaning of life. Why are we here? What's going to happen? Where do we go? You know why the Buddha laughs? Because there's no meaning. It just is. It's just an experience. You're experiencing what you're not. And this is my experience. And until you wake up, it's a very ambiguous sort of a response. You know, until you meet aliens on other planets, it's still ambiguous, no? The question is Annie really an alien? Or is she acting? So you see how important it is that you have your own experience. Or else there's always this doubt, no? And it's the same with consciousness. You know, I give you a system that gave me, I don't have any more questions. I have not one question. Everything came to me at once. And I give you the tools so you can find your own answers. And I know, ultimately, they'll be identical to mine. But they have to come from within you. And that's the beauty of this system. It has no belief, no rules, no judgments, no tradition. It's just something for you to find you and to love yourself. And I think that's the only thing that's worth having. Your own experience. Yeah? Gracias.